Well, hey folks, Real Honesty with John Riddlins, a 20-year reflection on the Mankind vs. Undertaker Hell in a Cell match at King of the Ring 1998. And this match doesn't get any easier to watch at all. I have no idea how Foley is still alive. I have no idea how Foley is still even walking. I have no idea how Undertaker is still even wrestling, even on the part-time basis that he that he is right now, the very limited basis. Yes, Undertaker didn't take nearly the heavy bumps that Mankind did, but Undertaker still took some pretty heavy ones. And you look at the toll that both men put on their bodies in their feud in general from about about April of '96 through most of '96, and then in part of '97, and then here, they didn't really face off much after this. And that's probably just as well because I don't know how they could have really topped much of what they did here. They gave of their body. It's like JR said it best. They gave of their bodies. They gave of their souls. They gave of their hearts. That's the thing. Heart. That's what these men showed. I mean, yeah, okay, maybe bad example considering it's a 2.5 heart icon, from Zelda, but still. These men gave so much. And I mean, Foley in particular, the efforts that he gave here, the bumps that he took, gave WWE even more of a rocket to get past WCW. I mean, yes, the TV ratings were still neck and neck, but WCW's pay-per-views were hot messes just as much as WWE's were. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, 1998, 1999 were rough years creatively, even though the ratings were just insane for WWE, and were still pretty good for WCW. But you look at this. This was one of the turning points. Now, yes, soon after this, they would have WCW would have Goldberg versus Hogan at the, at the Georgia Dome and everything, and that would be something that would rocket them up, and they would get big ratings from that and win a TV rating, TV ratings war there. But they wouldn't win too much after that. They won on the night where Flair returned. Later in 98, I think it was September 14th, 1998, if I recall correctly. And then the night after Halloween Havoc 1998, because they had to show DDP versus Goldberg on free TV because the pay-per-view got cut off because nobody bothered to time that bullshit. And after that, WWE was kind of off to the races after this. They were beating WCW more since April 13th, 1998, when they beat them for the first time in almost 2 years. And it was still neck and neck and neck and neck. And then the finger poke of doom thing happened where Foley won the title on Raw, on a taped Raw. And then all that went. But looking back at this match, just looking at what Foley did, and kind of I don't think that this was his mindset. I think the mindset was him and Taker were going to steal the damn show, even though they were just underneath the main event. And Foley still had to make a run in the main event to cause that, cause the fluky finish and everything and all that, and made that. After everything that happened to him, he still made that. But you're looking at all this stuff. WWE was on a creative upswing, even with all the bullshit that Russo was doing and was allowed to do at the behest of the smart Vince McMahon. Still, Foley and Taker wanted to steal the damn show. And they did. There's no doubt about it. No offense against Shamrock winning the King of the Ring, which was great. No offense against Austin versus Kane. Austin and Kane having that first blood match in the main event. Undertaker Mankind stole the show. Probably the show-stealing match of 1998 in WWE. All due respect to anybody that put in great efforts. Because it raised the bar so damn high the WWE couldn't even top it. They tried doing it with Rikishi at Armageddon 2000. That wasn't necessarily the best idea. That didn't really work all that great. And just watching all the stuff that they did, and just the things that they did from the fall off the cell to the fall through the cell to the moves where the crowd was almost in stunned silence. I mean, they were still cheering some, but they were, after those two big moves, they were so shocked that the match was still going on and that Foley wasn't dead. And I think every fan was really shocked by that and thankful that he wasn't dead. Everybody was kind of in stunned silence, even though they were reacting. And then the thumbtacks and, the fall where Taker threw Mankind on his back, while he was on his back and threw him on the tacks and then chokeslammed and then tombstoned him. And Taker left the ring. But the real star of the whole match was Foley. That's nothing against Undertaker. But Mankind didn't want to leave the ring in, on a stretcher. So people are applauding him and everything. Terry Funk's helping him. I believe it was referee Mike Chioda. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. And Sergeant Slaughter, and there were others. I mean, there were other medical officials. I believe the Dr. Francois was trying to help him, the French guy, who did a lot of massages and stuff like that to help the wrestlers. It was just amazing to see Foley even walk out there. I mean, with help or not. I mean, and the fact that he would need help, I don't think anybody would have faulted him. But you're just looking at what Foley did. He set his body, he had already set his body on a path where he wasn't going to be able to wrestle past, like, probably the age of 40 before he retired. That match took 5 years off of that. Like, right there, it was pretty obvious. If Foley lived to 50, it would have been a miracle. And that's not me being dark. And Foley's still going. I believe he's 51, 52 now. And that's great. But this match is like career shortening and life shortening. And yes, there are outlaw promotions and bullshit that have done way worse things. The guy in the Philippines lit himself on fire. And then you got people that are taking power bombs through light tubes, or taking power bombs off ladders through tables and popping up right afterwards. Yes, Leo Rush, which, okay, young and stupid. And stupid. Did I mention stupid, by the way? But yes, other promotions have tried to do things worse. Other talents have tried to do things where they've done insane things to their bodies. But the whole point is, watching what Foley did and just appreciating him for the fact that he was able to take all those bumps and live, they didn't have anybody in WCW that was willing to do that. They didn't. I mean, and I'm not saying any of the talents played it safe. I mean, there were some that did. There were plenty that wanted to go out and steal the show, like the Cruiserweights, like Chris Jericho, like DDP, and various others that wanted to go out and steal the show and stuff like that. But it was something that set the tone for WWE, pretty much running away with the Monday Night Wars after that. Now, I mean, obviously the television ratings were still neck and neck, as I stated earlier in the video. Goldberg facing Hogan, Flair returning, the Halloween Havoc main event being shown on a live Nitro, and then the finger poke of doom pretty much finishing all that off. Even though the ratings were still good for WCW, they were never able to match what WWE did because they pissed off their fan base. And yes, I'll be doing a 20-year reflection on the Goldberg-Hogan thing also, and probably uploading that before the 4th and stuff like that. But just watching what Foley did and appreciating him for what he did, it's hard to not believe in what, hard not to believe that Foley is one of the toughest human beings alive. People are like, oh, he had to retire in 2000, this kind of stuff. Well, yeah, because the human body can only take so much shit. The fact that he was able to do that stuff and live is an absolute miracle. Him and Taker had one of the best feuds of all time, arguably. Like, even though it was within the confines of about 2 years, and off and on, stuff like that, because those are the best kind of feuds, where you have it hot for a number of months, and then you stop it, and then you bring it back up, and then you bring it back up a third time. After that, you really can't do much more with it. Don't make it like Orton and Cena, where it happens forever. But just watching and appreciating what Foley did, and knowing that he gave of his body and his mind and his soul for the business. Not just on that night, but on every night. It really makes you appreciate more and more what Foley did. And truly, I wish that match didn't have to happen for us to appreciate Foley. Because I already appreciated Foley before. I wish that match didn't have to happen. Just knowing the toll that it took on his body. But I am forever grateful for what Foley and Undertaker did. And everybody involved. Everybody played their roles perfectly. Terry Funk taking the choke slam. But Foley and Undertaker played their roles perfectly. And did so well, and I'm forever appreciative for what both those men did, and continue to do for wrestling. Foley does stuff like charity work and this kind of stuff, and still makes appearances at conventions. And Taker's still wrestling, limited base, but still, I'm forever grateful for what both those men do. And if you guys watch this match again, I hope that you guys have an appreciation for what both did. So let me know what you thought in the comments. I just wanted to talk about this video, so yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe also. It's been Real Honesty with John Ritlin, and I will see you soon.